First up, as the conflict intensifies in the Kursk and the Belgorod regions in Russia, President Volodymyr Zelensky has claimed that Ukrainian forces are fortifying their positions in Kursk. Russia has hit back with its third ballistic missile attack on Kyiv this month. Now, Belarus has accused Ukraine of stationing over 120,000 troops at its border, prompting it to deploy a significant portion of its armed forces there. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin is traveling to Azerbaijan on a separate diplomatic mission. Syed Afsar Al Hassan reports.
As the battle rages on in the Kursk and Belgorod regions of Russia, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has renewed his call for more weaponry from its Western allies.
It is crucial that our partners remove barriers that prevent us from weakening Russian positions in the way the course of the war demands. Long-range capabilities of our forces are the answers to the most important and strategic questions of this war.
Zelensky asserted that Ukrainian troops have been strengthening their position in Kursk region of Russia.
The operation is proceeding exactly as we planned. The bravery of Ukrainians is achieving great things. We are now strengthening our positions. The bridgehead of our presence is becoming stronger.
On the other side, Russia has carried out its third ballistic missile attack on Kyiv this month on Sunday. The head of the Kyiv military administration has accused Russia of using North Korean-made ballistic missiles. Kyiv regional governor reported that 2 private houses were destroyed and 16 others were damaged by falling debris. Amid war of words, Russia on Sunday denied a report that the Ukraine's attack on the Kursk region had derailed indirect talks with Kyiv on halting strikes on energy and power targets. Its foreign ministry said that there had been no talks with Kyiv about civilian infrastructure facilities. On the northern border, Ukraine has stationed more than 120,000 troops with Belarus. While claiming this, Belarusian president said that the Minsk, in response, deployed nearly a third of its armed forces along Ukraine border.
There are over 120,000 Ukrainian troops on the Belarusian-Ukrainian border. They are keeping them near our border. Seeing their aggressive policy we have introduced there and placed in certain points in case of war, they would be defense. Our military along the entire border.
Despite Ukraine's ongoing incursion in the southern Russian region, Russian President Vladimir Putin is visiting Azerbaijan. He will hold talks with Azerbaijan President Ilham Aliyev. During the 2-day visit, the two leaders are expected to sign several agreements to expand cooperation. Putin is also expected to comment on peace negotiation between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Following years of conflict over the mountainous Nagorno-Karabakh region, which Baku seized in 2023. Syed Afsarul Hassan for DD India.
Now, for more on the latest developments related to this conflict, let's take you across live to DD India's Dasha Chernashova in Moscow. Good evening to you, Dasha. Now, apart from firing missiles at Kyiv, how is Moscow responding to its claims of its soldiers making further inroads into Russian territory, both in Kursk and in Belgorod?
Well, at the moment, we understand the focus is on the evacuation of the civilian population from the border areas and on squeezing out the Ukrainian military from those border areas of Russian territory. Now, we've heard from the Americom that at least 1,700 people have been evacuated from the border districts of the Kursk region. We're also hearing that evacuations are ongoing in the Belgorod region, but the Ukrainian attacks are persistent, and we understand that several districts have been coming under the repeated shelling shelling, drone attacks, as well as the artillery strikes from the Ukrainian side, resulting in civilian casualties in both of those regions. Now, we've heard from the head of one of the districts in the Kursk region saying that there are civilians who are attempting to go back to their houses, but she said that was simply impossible at the moment because there was the threat to their lives, but also she said that was interfering with the activities of the Russian Ministry of Defense. Keep in mind that Russia has already closed several settlements in the Belgorod region, and the entry there is prohibited because the operations are ongoing inside there. And the Russian Ministry of Defense said that the total losses of the Ukrainian troops in the Kursk region have exceeded 3,000 people over the course of the days since this incursion has started. They also insist that they are striking the Ukrainian positions both on the Russian territory in the Kursk region, those mobile groups that are in the forests, that are in the settlements, and also in the regions that are adjacent to the Russian border.
All right. What is brewing on the border with Belarus?
Well, the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, has given an extensive interview to the Russian news outlets on Sunday. And in that interview, he said that Ukraine has amassed 120,000 troops on the Belarusian-Ukrainian border. In response, he said, Ukraine has been moving its military towards the border with Ukraine. He said that the border between the two countries is as mined as never before. So in his words, Ukrainian military would incur significant losses should they decide to cross over. He also has said that the Ukrainian incursion into Russia's Kursk region was an attempt to force Russia to react asymmetrically, and that is, he said, to use the tactical nuclear weapons. But he said Russia is refraining from that because Moscow clearly understands that would be, as he said, a gift to the Western countries. Then certainly the international community would be turned away from Russia and from Minsk as well, because there is the union state of both Russia and Belarus. So from the position that we understand that Belarus is taking, they are trying to prevent any attack from the Ukrainian side. We've seen the drones being intercepted, the Ukrainian drones being intercepted in the Belarusian airspace. So certainly a lot is happening there as well, and we will be following how the situation develops.
All right. And what has prompted President Putin to visit Azerbaijan at such a critical juncture?
Well, indeed, there are many questions with regards to why President Putin is traveling to Azerbaijan, particularly now. He is paying the two-day state visit to Azerbaijan that will be held on Sunday and on Monday. The visit, according to the Kremlin, is aimed to further boost the strategic partnership between the two countries. The understanding is that during this visit, they will be signing a series of documents, bilateral ones. The Russian politicians have all been saying that this visit is demonstrating how important relations with Azerbaijan are for Russia. And also we understand that the sides will be talking about the settlements between Armenia and Azerbaijan. But at the same time, the analysts here in Russia say that the very fact that Putin is traveling at this time is demonstrating that he is certain that the situation in Kursk will be settling down.
Okay, let's see what happens. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment. Dasha Chernashova.